Hey guys, MC Mura here. As you know, M Bison comes out in just a couple of days, and I figured it's a really good time to talk about the balance impression. Early impressions of the characters who appear to be very strong, who appear to be struggling a little bit. I think the season is still early. It does feel, as of right now at least, it feels a little bit more compact than season 1 used to be. Things feel a little bit better, but I do think there are still clear winners and there are still clear losers. Characters who are super strong, characters who are struggling. So I made this tier list. As you can see here, we got S+, which there are two characters in my opinion who I can safely put as an S plus characters, very strong, and then S, these are the really best characters, and then we got A, B, B minus, only a handful as well will be in B minus. So if you ask me right now, Mura, who is the strongest characters in Street Fighter 6? And there are two that will immediately jump to my mind. The first one is Guile, the second one is Rashid. And I do think Rashid before Guile. I think Rashid is the best character in the game right now. He is so strong, it's unbelievable. Rashid obviously came out early last year. He was like the first character of the season, but he actually didn't get adjusted that much. Rashid is one of these characters that, in my opinion, power crept his way into being the best in the game, right? He was still as busted as he is right now, but obviously we had more powerful Ken, we had more powerful JP, more powerful Luke, DJ, and all of that. All of him got nerfed. He didn't really get any nerfs. Instead, he actually got buffed, and that is why he is S plus tier. Rashid got amazing buttons in my opinion. His crouching medium kick is super good, super long. His standing heavy kick is really stupid and pretty hard to wave punish. He got a really good heavy punch for wave punishing as well. His standing medium kick is great. He got really good drive rush. It is short. His drive rush doesn't go that far, but it's quick. And his drive rush crouching light kick is actually amazing. He got meaty setups for days. Can go like with meaty overheads that he can combo after meterlessly, still plus on block and all of that. He got corner carry for days on his combo. Like something as simple as heavy punch into his eagle spike. This carries insanely far into the corner, which is kind of ridiculous to be honest. His fireball is insane for his archetype. Here's the thing with Rashid, right? Not only is his fireball really good for baiting your opponent to jump because it goes into an upward direction and he can pick up like juggle combos if he actually caught you, but his fireball is so good at baiting drive parries, right? Because you can never be really too sure on the startup on which version he's doing. He can bait you into trying to parry the projectile, but oops, it goes upward and there you go, you just wasted your meter. So he had an issue with his anti-airs, but I think with the nerfs to some of the jump-ins like Luke and the buff to EX Mixer, it doesn't come up that often, and honestly, it's not a crippling weakness. And he got level 2 super. His level 2 super is the strongest move in this game, bar none. There is nothing in Street Fighter 6 that is as messed up as Rashid's level 2. He can round start fight, activate level 2, and there is nothing you can do about it. Like a good portion of the roster can't do anything about it. It is actually that ridiculous, right? Most of the characters can't actually punish it on a round start fight. Like it is that good, right? And obviously leads to a lot of mix-ups. He's really good at shipping you out. He got a throw loop. He got side switch combos. So he got everything, right? And his damage output is actually really high with the level 2 as well. If he got you with a level 2 super, combo into an eagle spike, then an EX mixer, then the combo. If he got the execution for the extended combos, they do so much damage. He also got combos for days with the forward medium punch, with the Arabian Cyclone and all of that. So he is one of these characters who's able to loop with special, so he built a ton of bar. And this makes it so that you can see like very long Rashid combos ended with super Rashid kick that does massive damage. So he got everything. He got everything. Again, there were characters who were stronger than him, but power creep got Rashid to the point where I do safely think he's the best in the game, right? The second one is Guile, and I think Guile had two main issues in season 1 that kept him in check. The first one is Cammy. because Cammy had a really good, reliable anti-fireball tools. She still does once she got level 3. But up to that point, it was hard for him to throw boom spear because she could punish it badly, but not anymore. I do think the matchup versus Cammy appears to be a lot better for him. And the second is obviously JP. Now Cammy got nerfed to her anti-projectile capabilities, JP also got nerfed in general, and that left Guile in a very strong position. He still got amazing normals. Street Fighter 6 Guile is a cheater Guile, by the way, because here is the thing, right? Classically, when you were fighting against Guile, when he's holding down back, you don't jump, because you jump, he flash kicks you, right? But if you see him walking back or forward, then you get to jump, because then he got a crouching heavy punch or standing. Like, he have to normal anti-air, and then maybe you will get him to block, maybe you will trade. So a jump was a possibility, right? In this game, he throws a bad boom, you should have earned a jump, he parries your jump in, and that is really annoying. But also, if he's just walking backwards, he got access to level 3 super, which is an anti-air, and this is unprecedented for Guile. Guile always needed to down back to have really powerful anti-airs, but in this game, not anymore. He got the best fireball drive rush in the game, in my opinion. A low overhead bazooka knee to be safe. He got everything, right? So I think Akuma might be like one of his matchups that he struggled a little bit in right now, but I do think Guile overall is really, really good. He's really powerful. As the Guile got execution for the loops, he is just, he is super good. Now, I'm not gonna indulge in the Shoto wars, right? But all these three, all three of them are S tier. I think all three of them are ridiculous. Now, this list is not ordered, by the way. Like, from this point onward, it's not ordered. I do think Rashid, Guile are top 2, but the Shotos, I've seen a lot of debate about, like, Ken is the worst Shoto, Ryu is the worst Shoto, Akuma is the, it's like, it's funny because it's like watching 3 billionaires debate who got the least amount of money. So it's like, all 3 of you are ridiculous. All 3 of them are ridiculous, right? Ken, Ryu, and Akuma are like the shield right now. All 3 of them are like world champions. We got some Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, or like whatever he's called now. All 3 of them are super strong. Like, you can tell me one of them is a weak or an even average character at this point, right? All 3 of them got insanely stupid standing heavy punch. Ryu does unreasonable damage. His Hashogeki is super safe and super good right now. His reward, like, all 3 of them got this annoying like frame trap check special, right? He got adamant flames, that one got Genrai, this one got Hashogeki. And Hashogeki gets you like a counter hit launcher. He gets really good corner carry out of that. He got one of the best throw loops in the game. His damage output is ridiculous. His anti-air DP, I do think, is the best out of these 3 because he doesn't move forward as much, so it is pretty reliable. Now with a buff to his dungeon charge, the fact that he can hit confirm the heavy bunch of justice into the OD Hashogeki and get absurd damage. Ryu is so good. Ryu is so strong, and his crouching medium kick is really good. Ken, Genrai is still there. You still need a PhD in Genrai to know how you can deal with it. He still got the powerful drive rush. He's still able to mental stack you. He still got the corner carry. Still got the side switch combos. Still got... I actually do think when you compare Ken right now to the average character, in many ways he got damage buffs because a lot of the really good character got damage nerfed. Like Luke got damage nerfed, like significant damage nerfs. DJ got some damage nerfs. JP got some damage nerfs. Chun-Li to an extent as well. So a lot of the characters that used to deal a lot of damage and are like in contention with Ken, a lot of them got damage nerf. So in the grand scheme, I do feel his damage output is now... They brought a lot of the characters' damage output closer to him. So that kind of helps him overall, right? And he still got, in my opinion, like him and Chun-Li, and let's actually put Chun-Li in there, right? These 2 still got the best crouching medium kicks in the game. His crouching medium kick is, the range on it is good, the speed on it is good, he still got jabs into mediums. Ken is just ridiculous. Ken is just ridiculous. All 3 of them I do think are great. Chun-Li, I do think, is a little bit weaker than she used to be last patch. I do think there are a number of reasons for this. The biggest one to me is the nerf to her back medium punch. This one being hit confirmable was a big deal. It really buffed her neutral game. I do think she was also one of the characters that she relied a little bit in some matchups on that heavy kick anti-air to get some really big damage, but now that got nerfed a little bit as there's more scaling on it. The nerf to Hazanshu, but she's still a fantastic character, all things considered. I do think Chun-Li is still very, very good. It's easily one of the best characters in the game. Her walk speed with that crouching medium kick is a war crime. But yeah, I don't think she competes well with Rashid and Guile, and the Shotos are obviously all very strong. So again, S tier is not ordered, right? I do think Jury is also S tier right now. Again, characters that escaped the batch as the $1 million character. She doesn't have anything that stand out so much compared to these guys, especially like these two, but she's still very good. I do think Jury is like the benchmark for a good character in Street Fighter 6. Right, so she's very, very good. She's still got really good drive rush. She's still got her amazing normals, amazing walk speed, a little bit more damage now, especially with the target combo into the level 1. I do think that's pretty good for her. Not much have changed with Jury, and power creep still keep her in a pretty good place, right? Now it's time for Luke, and I don't think Luke is like somewhere here. Luke is good. I'm gonna bundle him with the Shotos. I think all four of them are very close in like power level to where they were previously, right? Luke, his damage output, he's still pretty much the same character, I think, but his damage nerfs is something that you can really feel. Luke used to be able to kill you in 2 or 3 hits. Now he have to hit you 4 or 5 times, and in Street Fighter 6, this matters. This actually matters. This is important because now he got to open you up more. He still got all the tools that he need to win, but he does have to open you up more. Like if we're talking about Ryu, Akuma, Ken, Chun-Li, all of that, I think Akuma can kill you the quickest. He got the highest damage output out of these characters. Ryu probably, Ryu and Akuma, both of them got like really stupid high damage output. Ken and Luke, now they brought them kinda to the same level, right? I do think the nerf to his crouching heavy punch as a combo move is significant. The nerf to his crouching medium punch as a combo starter, that is significant. The nerf to his damage overall is felt. I feel like there is more interactions now in the Luke matchup, and since he's a character that is well-rounded, and now that it's a little bit easier to anti-air him out of his jumping heavy punch, he does feel a lot more reasonable. I do think Luke feels more fair than he used to previously, right? Which is a good W, all things considered, right? Now, will Mura boot him? Will Mura boot DJ and Blanca? I'm sorry, I don't think so. I don't think DJ and Blanca though are strong A tiers, right? I do think these are, in my opinion, the clear. Oh, there is one I actually forgot. There is one I actually forgot, which is Aki. Damn it! How could I forget Aki? I do think Aki is an S tier character. Aki is super duper uber strong in this version of the game. I think she is so strong. Her standing medium punch, remember when I talked about Chun-Li's crouching medium kick and said it was a war crime? Her standing medium punch is a war crime. Her standing medium punch is one of the most messed up normals in Street Fighter 6. 5 frame startup or like 6 frame startup and 5 frame is so active. 6 frames, 5 frame active. That is just insane. The startup is too quick and so active. Like at least Ryu's and Ken and the Shotos got like their 10 frame heavy bunches that is that active. Although Ryu got, I mean, let's be real, Ryu's crouching medium punch is kind of nonsense. But Aki's is just too crazy. And her damage output, her practical damage output is, I do think, second to Marisa as the most damaging character in the game. right? And it's practical. It's easy to get hit with like these 60-70% combos by Aki, right? Especially if you're cornered. It's not super hard. Her damage output is insane. Her heavy punch is super good right now. Her crouching medium kick is so good in this game. I think it's like the only plus on block crouching medium kick, which is ridiculous. And natural combos, and got range, and hit confirmable to super. All of that is amazing. She got a lot of like checkmate scenarios. If your burnout just throws fireball, does her level 2 nonsense, that's a checkmate. Not many characters are able to do that. Her fireball drive rush is still one of the very best. She gets so much damage out of a drive rush, and her drive rush is really quick and goes super far. She got probably the most dangerous drive rush, because if you got hit with a drive rush crouching medium kick, you're eating so much damage. And obviously got natural plus frames with the forward heavy kick. Got a pretty good overhead. A lot of I've been seeing a lot of people call Aki a brain dead character, and I don't know about that, but I do think she is just super good. She's super good. She's so good. Like, and her anti-airs now are really good as well. The standing heavy kick buff is huge, and crouching heavy kick as well. She got so much. She's a very strong character. And I do think she got like season 1 damage output, which is something they probably need to look at. I think Aki would be fine if she did like 70% of her current damage output. But she's kind of like pre-season or season 1 look, where the damage is so unreasonable that it puts the character over the top, right? So next up is DJ and Blanca. I do think these two characters are still very much intact, and they just lost damage, right? But they were, in my opinion, especially like DJ, his damage output was egregious, right? He lost a little bit of damage, and that was kind of his thing, in my opinion. But the fact that he lost it now, I think that is pretty big for him, to be honest, all things considered, because he probably got nerfed the hardest. I think him and JP, right? These two characters got some pretty big nerfs, but now he needs to open you up more, which is a little bit more fair. But most of the practical situations where DJ used to get damage got nerfed. He used to rely a lot on drive rush jab. Jab damage output got nerfed. He used to rely a lot on like raw standing heavy punch for like punish counters, and even just throwing it out in the neutral. That got nerfed. OD fireball into combos, that got nerfed. Sway low, that got nerfed. You now, especially like with the right anti-air at least, you can now get a lot of damage on his knee if you happen to anti-air it, and he's losing drive with that. So that is not that great. And he lost a lot of his ability to punish many things with the changes to up kicks. It's now a lot easier to punish as well. And even if you're neutral jumping him, that is a little bit more effective now. So I do think he's still a very good character, all things considered. He's still A tier. He's still fantastic. He's just like in the top 10 discussion, but I don't think he's that higher. And the same for Blanca. Blanca more or less is the same character, but he needs to open you up more. And I do think the change to his drive rush overhead is actually pretty meaningful, because now the mix-up is a lot tamer, right? The fact that he doesn't get a guaranteed throw makes the mix-up a little bit tamer, in my opinion. And I do actually think that drive reversal on wake up kinda helps a little bit versus Blanca. That's just my opinion, but remains to be seen. I do think it's still very strong, but yeah, it's a little bit more reasonable now, right? JP, same thing. Very powerful character, very strong, but obviously, yeah, the nerfs got to him, right? The nerfs to crouching heavy punch is pretty big. The nerfs to OD amnesia, that changed a lot. I think his lights as well. He was one of these characters who were able to like light and then activate level 2. A lot of his level 2 routes got removed with the recent change, which I'm not sad about him, to be honest. I never liked JP that much, but yeah, he was really good, and nerfs got the best of him, right? In this placement, I will put Cammy, I will put Marisa as well, and I will put Zangief, right? And Ed. and Ed, right? Cammy, I think, is still, she's probably like one of the best, maybe the best like of this tier. Cammy, Blanca, and DJ to me are like the characters who you can call them like the rest of the top 10, and I wouldn't really mind it that much. I do think Cammy is still pretty fantastic, all things considered, but her matchup spread, at least because now I play like a character like Chun-Li, I can feel the difference between her ability to bypass fireballs easy compared to now, right? So her fireball game, her anti-fireball game is, I feel like is a little bit right now. I do think all of these characters got better ways to force the issues than her. She's still a very good character. Her dive kick is still absolutely ridiculous. Her new combos make her do a lot of good damage. She still got corner carry. She still got side switch combos. She is still ridiculous. I do think she's still amazing, but I do think she is probably a little bit weaker than these guys up here. Maybe I'm a little bit too low on Cammy, I don't know, because none of my characters, like Chun-Li fights her pretty well, Manon in my opinion fight her pretty well as well, so maybe that is the case, but I do think Cammy, to me she feels a little bit more fair, or she doesn't open you up as easily. Now her standing heavy kick is pretty good right now, but the move is pretty whiff punishable, so I think she's alright. Marisa, pretty much in the same position, right? She got a little bit more damage output. Her Oki got a little bit weaker, but it's not that significant. And her damage output, her new save jumps, her new everything is just really strong, and that makes her a threat because now she's a character that can like kill you with 2 combos more consistently and doesn't even have to spend level 3 in many cases because of the new changes to her forward heavy kick that being juggle. She got better save jump setups now, the fact that she can charge the heavy kicks give her more frame advantage, so she is really good at chipping away your drive, which is kind of the name of the game with this patch. So she's still in a pretty good position, but most of her weaknesses are still intact. Most of these characters still got throw loops and still got a lot of corner carry. Her anti-airs are still in the same position. So overall, Zangief and Ed. And so I know that there is a lot of talk about Zangief these days. There is a lot of people who think Zangief is super strong, and I do think on offense he's a lot stronger, and even in the neutral because of the change to his forward medium kick, that move is pretty good, especially if you happen to space it. The advantage is great and everything, and he's really good at chipping away at your drive. That standing medium kick is super good as well, and it's hard to whiff punish. His standing medium punch is hard to whiff punish, so I get all of that, but Zangief still is a character that struggles on defense. Street Fighter 6 is still a game of offense. If you happen to whiff punish or get an opening on Zangief, it is realistic to steamroll him, right? And his anti-airs I do think are still kind of spotty, right? So with all of that being considered, I do think Zangief weaknesses on defense keep him in check, right? Yes, there is now the option of wake up drive reversal. Yes, there is level 2 super, but that's really slow and that's bait. His level 3 super is tremendous obviously, but he still struggle on defense pretty much more than all of these characters, so it's really hard to say that he is amazing, right? He's S tier. I don't think so. I think he's just pretty good, but obviously got weaknesses, right? And Ed, I do think is also a pretty good character. Now, one thing about Ed that probably not talked about that much is that the system changes kind of hurt him a little bit, because especially in regards to his lights, he used to use like lights into that machine gun punch thing and then activate level 2 out of that, right? And that was used a lot by Ed players, but not so much right now because of the damage scaling on lights. He didn't get changed that much in the most recent patch, and that's okay. He still got slow anti-airs, which is a bit of a problem. I feel like he's a hard character to be consistent with. I do think he got like strong neutral tools. His standing medium kick is still pretty good. His crouching heavy kick I do think is pretty good as well. Got a standing heavy punch. His crouching medium kick got a ton of range, and that jumping medium punch got a ton of range as well. So he got a lot of tools, but I do think it's a little bit hard to be consistent. Now, there are now a lot of discoveries when it comes to his level 2 super, and his level 2 super, if you get the right activation, can deal deal some unreasonable damage output, and that could play a big part in it and his future in this game. He's one of these characters that I do think can only go up. Right, I don't think it can get weaker. With more and more optimization in his level 2, he can only go up from there. So, good character, all things considered, right? B tier characters who I think are they are a little bit weaker than the guys up here, but still fairly decent. I'm gonna put Jamie, I'm gonna put Honda, I'm gonna put Manon, and I'm gonna put Kimberly and Lily. Right, I don't think these characters are B tier, and B minus is Manon. And B minus is Manon. Yes, I do think Manon is in a tier of her own when it comes to being weak in this game. And you can call it downplay, you can call it, oh, Mura is whining about his character, Mura, but we will get into it, right? But let's talk about these guys up here, right? Dhalsim, I don't think he changed that much, to be honest. He is more or less the same. But the thing about Dhalsim is that a lot of the characters that were around him got a lot better, right? And got changed to the better, which made his life a little bit harder. I don't think, like the changes, for example, for Luke, I don't think it made the matchup that much easier for Dhalsim, right? But the changes to Zangief made him a little bit more dangerous. The changes to Lily made her a little bit more dangerous. That sort of deal, right? So it's a matter of power creep, right? Jamie, he got a lot better, but his fundamental issue still remains. And I don't think the main issue with Jamie is he gets like. Jamie and Manon are kind of the same deal, right? Where they have to set up to get going, and they aren't the best. He's a little bit better than Manon at forcing the issue, but he doesn't get rewarded that much. His damage output, especially I will say with levels, once he got like 4 drinks, in the right, if you happen to get the right hit, he can deal some massive damage, but you have to hit them airborne, which means you're probably getting like heavy kick as a punish counter, which can happen, but it's not super easy to get in comparison to the previous season, where it was more realistic that he could get like an OD command grab into level 3, which used to do massive damage, right? So they took away one of his most damaging routes and gave him others that can do a lot of damage, but probably not as reliable. In my opinion, he actually got a pretty tremendous crouching medium kick as well. He struggled versus Fireball, that didn't change. They even gave him a Kuma who got an even better Fireball. So that is kinda annoying for him. His Buckeye, which is like the spin move, is a little bit better now, but it's super hard to be consistent with Jamie because he needs a lot to get going, which unfortunately doesn't happen that much, right? Lily, I do think is a little bit better now. Her normals are still tremendous. They gave her some buffs here and there, and I do think the change to her, at least like her crouching medium kick got to use now. It used to be like a totally useless move, at least now it got to use. Her medium punch Spire, her medium punch has the wind. This is a buff and a nerf because if they block it, you get punished now, but it leaves you a little bit closer on hit, so that is good for her. Her OD counter Spire is still pretty good. She did get a nerf in the sense that she was one of these characters who were heavily reliant on lights for combos, so that scales a little bit now, but her level 1 super buff though is pretty good. So overall I do think she's a little bit better. Didn't get dramatically better. I don't think she's dramatically better, but I do think maybe Lily would have been here or like a B minus, but now she's B. Right, all these guys feel a lot closer. Like, even Manon, even though I'm saying Manon is like in a B minus, I do think she is closer now to the rest of the roster than she used to be previously, right? So that is a case with Lily, right? I think she's a little bit better, but here's the thing, right? Her changes made her life a little bit better against the stronger characters, but also there were weaker characters, like for example Zangief, who got a lot of buffs, even though I do think Lily fights him really well. So overall I don't think she moved up that dramatically, right? Kimberly is kind of the same deal. Her combos now are nice. She got, I would say she got a lot more utility out of that heavy elbows than she used to, and the ability to not having to rely on too much meter. I do think that's good for her. The changes to the level 2, I don't see it that much, to be honest, but her changes is just small buffs here and there, right? Small light buffs here and there. Her ability to get like 2 crouching mediums in a combo and then get like a standing medium, I do think that is pretty good. So she got small damage buffs, but if you compare her changes to say Ryu or like Zangief, or Aki, it's nothing, right? And that's what I'm calling like power creep, right? Like even if you're a low tier and even if you got buffed, if your other low tier, if your companion low tiers got Omega buffed, you pretty much end up in a worse place than you used to, which is unfortunate, right? Still, she's still like a rush down character, but like Rashid, like compare Kimberly and Rashid, and just like night and day, right? Night and day. Even Aki, right? Like her ability to force the issue compared to a character like Kimberly, she's still pretty good, but nothing great. Honda is probably the character that got changed the most, and you know what? I'm not gonna put Honda in a tier list right now, because of all of the characters in this list, I do feel like Honda is the character that changed the most, right? As he changed a lot of his utility, a lot of how you're even supposed to use his moves feel different now. Headbutts, yes. Like there is now the change with the headbutt, the fact that it doesn't fly across the screen, but also now they are plus in Burnout. Now that they're on -3, that is really big. They leave you closer, so it changes the dynamic with the spacing trap and everything, but it's still like it leaves you in a pretty good situation, especially in Burnout, maybe even better. His butt slams now, yes, the separation is different, but this kinda buffs his spacing traps with the heavy punch, especially afterwards. His medium punch, I think, is pretty great. The changes to his Ray to the God buffs, the fact that now he got a crouching medium kick that you can use, he feels to me like a more solid character. Right, he feels to me like a lot more solid character, and I haven't seen enough of Honda to judge. Right, he does feel stronger to me than the gimmick drive parry simulator character that he used to be in the previous season. So I think I still need a little bit more time with him. Right, I think I still need more time with Honda to kind of figure things out. And finally, Manon. Right, is Manon that bad? Hard to say. Now I know that Idom just did tremendous in the World Warrior tournament, but if you've seen how he played, he was clutch out of his mind, right? And he was playing tremendously well. He was making all of the right reads. He was working his butt off to make this character work, right? And with all of that, his match with Punk was still very, very difficult. And that is a character that Manon got a decent matchup against. She doesn't struggle that badly against, like of all of the strong characters, she does worse against Chun-Li, against Luke, against Ken, against Guile. Cammy is a little bit more reasonable for her matchup wise, and he still struggled. Manon still gets, she still needs so much work to get going. She got a good buff with the fact that now she can more reliably combo into her light kick ballerina because of the less pushback on crouching light kick, but less damage because of the universal damage nerfs. If she get a back heavy punch, yes, she can get pretty decent combos, but I don't think that's enough. I really don't think that's enough. Like if you compare her changes to Zangief or Lily's, I think both of them got much more meaningful changes, especially Zangief, right? Manon, she got the back heavy punch being plus on block, which is alright, but you get nothing out of it. Her crouching medium kick is very good, but it's like nothing compared to what Aki got. Or even Zangief, to be honest. So she still struggles. She still needs so much work. You still need to guess right so much to get this character to work. On defense, you still get mauled. One thing that is kind of annoying about her as well is her ability to punish drive reversals. So drive reversals leave you at -6, right? For a character like Zangief, that doesn't matter. He's getting an SPD punish, Lily getting an SPD punish as well. The thing with Manon is you got to use a heavy punch command grab, right? Because this is your fastest command grab. The medium is 8 frames, the light is 10, but there will be some situations where you will block a drive reversal, but they're out of range for your heavy command grab. The fact that she can get like a medium into heavy, so your situation for punishing this isn't great. You can't punish a drive reversal with a medium. This is actually a big nerf to her, especially when you compare it to like characters like, for example, Akuma, who can like crouching medium punch, standing heavy punch you for like blocking a drive reversal. Drive reversal makes a lot of her new setups harder to use as well, and she doesn't punish them that hard. Like you get a light kick ballerina knockdown, you drive rush crouching medium kick, right? They wake up drive reversal, they beat you out of that, which is, you know what, that's fair enough. But if you bait it against some characters, you may not even get a punish, which is pretty sad, to be honest. And even if you get like a heavy punch command grab, that only is really a deterrent if and only if you got like level 3, level 4, level 5 medal. The changes to her level 3 help, but it's not enough, right? She's probably the character that like like Lily got the OD Condor Spire, this dude got the forward medium kick. She doesn't really got that obnoxious tool that can force the issue. There is like the overhead, but that's unsafe, and it will lose to it will even lose to lows if the timing, if you were unfortunate with the timing. So she's not great. I don't think she's. If there is like a mid-season balance match, I want them to focus on Manon. I want them to focus on Kimberly. I want them to focus on Jamie, because I do think these 3 characters still need help. And that's about it. These are my early power impression, early tier list, whatever you want to call it. Let me know your thoughts, or what are your thoughts on all of this. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Again, one thing I want to say with Manon is that power creep really hurt her. I do think Manon overall is in a worse position this patch than she used to in the previous season, thanks to power creep, which yeah, that's the problem. Anyways, if you have enjoyed this, if you agree with me or disagree, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and stay safe.